Hello and welcome to Mason Sports Insider. I am Dan Ward sitting alongside Tyler Byram, and we have the latest you need to know in Mason athletics.
It was a very slow week in athletics. Only a couple games going on. The cross-country teams were both off. Women's volleyball team went all the way to Colorado for a tournament. So
What a trip.
Yeah, they had fun out there. But yeah, very, very slow weekend on our end. Makes our job a whole lot easier. Less work for us. But as always, we'll start off with the men's soccer team, who had a lone match this week against the Panthers from High Point. The game kicked off with two teams who struggled offensively, and it showed in the first half. Besides a near miss by a header by Henning Dirks, neither side threatened to score in the opening 45 minutes. In the second half, the intensity picked up for both sides of the pitch. In the 70th minute, Mason looking to score. Taylor Wash put a cross inside the box, finding Herstek, who just missed as it hit off the post. Now moving on to the 87th minute as High Point drew a foul inside the box, resulting in a penalty kick for the Panthers. If you are the Patriots at this point, you are thinking, here we go again. Two penalty kicks, both have gone in against Mason at home. Setting the stage, it came down to Renato Puned against Stefan Kraus, who got back in between the pipes for his start after being benched the past two games. And Kraus goes and gets a huge save. The block there by the German goalkeeper was huge for the team. However, it got interesting in the 89th minute. High Point committed a foul inside the Mason box, and Kraus, not liking the play, comes flying out of the box, going straight to the High Point players. Things got heated for both sides, and after a scrum, 4 cards got issued, including one to goalkeeper Kraus, a red card. Just like that, Michael Butts quickly works to get in shape for the game, needing a huge performance for Mason.
And Mason controls it now. Minute 20. Upfield to Dirks, has space. Mason's bench telling Dirks to go. Dirks works inside the box, he gets past one. He will take a shot and does. That's the game winner! Henning Dirks!
The goal by Henning Dirks gave Mason their third victory of the year with 4 losses and gave coach Greg Andrulis his 100th career victory with the green and gold. The team is now 5th in the Atlantic 10 standings with only 1 week remaining before in-conference play starts. And yeah, that was a crazy game. I saw you at the game there as well. That was very interesting.
Definitely a lot of intensity in that game. It was really surprising seeing Kraus. You like the energy that, because we've been talking about that in the past, how there seems to be a lack of energy sometimes, a lack of leadership or something like that on the field. So it was nice to see Kraus show that intensity and go after the High Point players. But it was also a little unnerving with the red cards being distributed, and that could hurt them in their next game.
Yeah, and if you go back and look at the highlight, you saw Kraus. Immediately when the Mason player went down and the High Point player was walking away, Kraus didn't like it at all. And then once Kraus came straight in, the High Point player hit the deck. And I don't know if Kraus hit him. It's kind of hard to tell from video as well. But clearly, that's big. That's big. And with Michael Butts starting the past 2 games and Kraus earning his spot back in this game, he now has to sit out another game because of that red card. And it just makes the goalkeeping situation even more confusing for the Patriots as the season goes forward.
Yeah, he definitely did not throw a punch. I was able to see that. It was just a matter of if he shoved a person to the ground or not. But either way, picked up the red card. He'll have to sit the next game. I don't know. It was an exciting game, though.
Yeah, it was.
At least we did get the victory.
Very exciting. Back and forth the entire game. Either team could have won it, to be honest. I do want to talk about Michael Butts, though. I mean, less than a minute to go in regulation. You're the backup goalkeeper. You're like, well, we're either getting the win or the tie. I'm not playing. And then he has to come in a situation like that. Just huge, huge props to Michael Butts.
And I will say he played well. I know he had at least one shot come at him that caused the fans in the stands to get a little bit on edge. But he was able to secure it, something that he struggled with a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Balls bouncing off and going to leaving the rebounds open. So he did come in and have a nice game. It was good to see.
Yeah, it was good for him. And this could really be a momentum-building win for the Patriots. They've been struggling to have some momentum, some offensive flow, but just that game, it felt like that could be a turning point in the season. You felt it in the stands, you felt the players feeling it on the field, and that might be the push that Mason needs as we go forward into the season.
Certainly, especially with A-10 play right around the corner.
Yeah, 1 week or 2 weeks away, actually, game against VCU on October 3rd.
Now let's go on to the women's soccer team, who had only one game this week against former CAA rival Old Dominion. This game marked the last non-conference game for the team. Similarly to other games this season, the two teams were held scoreless in the first half. The tie was broken up in the 53rd minute by Old Dominion's Iris Akhtaroff, who scored her 4th goal of the season. Akhtaroff was far from through in this game, as only 4 minutes later she drilled home another goal to give her team the 2-0 lead. Mason would not go quietly. In the 79th minute, senior Emma Starr ripped a shot from 25 yards out that ricocheted off of the post and went into the net for her 2nd goal of the season. Alex Myers also picked up her 2nd assist of the season on the play. But despite Mason leading in shots and corner kicks in this game, they did not have the answer for Akhtaroff, who tallied another goal in the 86th minute to complete the hat trick and assure her team the victory.
Yeah, boy, that game, Mason now drops to 4-4 this season as they prepare for A10 conference play beginning the 1st of October. The team is currently tied for 4th place in the Atlantic 10 Conference. So, women's soccer team, they're wrapping their out-of-conference schedule up there at Old Dominion. I'd say overall, good showing for the team at the first half of the season.
Yeah, non-conference play, they played pretty well overall, 4-4 record, coming off of a bit of a rough season last year. So the fact that they've had some strong wins, they've seen some very good play from their seniors, and junior Sarah Hardison has played really well this season. So a lot of good things so far, and with the A10 play coming up, I like their odds.
Yeah, new coach Todd Bramble has definitely instilled a new philosophy on the team. Team looks completely different than what they did from a year ago, and basically it's the same players doing the same stuff. It's just new mentality, new way of working things around, and just it's exciting to see the women's soccer team do well. I mean, Old Dominion, they're a great team. They're always one of the top soccer teams on the East Coast. So 3-1 loss, not that big of a deal. I remember a couple years ago it was like 5-0 against Old Dominion. So definitely turning things around, heading in the right direction as Atlantic 10 season is about to begin.
The women's volleyball team traveled to Colorado this past weekend to participate in the Omni Invitational. Their first opponent was against Air Force Academy. The Patriots fought hard in the first set, going from having the lead early to battling late. Their efforts would go in vain, however, as they dropped the first set 25-22. The team was as resilient and high-spirited as ever, but the Air Force Academy was simply the better team in this one as they took the match 3-0. Lola Awaknaran and Maddie French led the Patriots in this match with 8 kills each. They then continued play on Saturday when they took on the Weber State Wildcats. The Patriots came out firing in the first set, trying to put that 3-0 loss from the day before behind them. They jumped on the Wildcats early to take a 6-1 lead, but then allowed Weber State to come back. The teams would battle back and forth throughout the first set, but Weber State would eventually come away with the 25-21 win. The Patriots responded nicely in the second set to pull away from the Wildcats thanks to a great service set by freshman Montana Green. The Patriots appeared to be on their way to an easy second set win that would tie the match, but a momentum shift in the second set allowed Weber State to make it a little closer than the Patriots had hoped. The Patriots would win the set and tie the match, but that late momentum swing would prove costly. Weber State would go on to win the third and fourth sets of the match and win the match 3-1. Senior Morgan Martin led the Patriots in this match with 11 kills, and Jenna Kobanovic led the team with 13 digs.
The difficult weekend continued for the women's volleyball team as they set up to play Colorado. In the first, it was all the Buffaloes who used a 16-5 run to take control of the set until they were going out to win the set 25-15. This looked like the Buffs were going to do the same in the second, leading 19-13, but the Patriots then flipped the switch after a timeout, using an 8-2 run to tie the set as they would eventually go on to even the match at a set apiece. In the third set, George Mason had no chance as they recorded only 6 points throughout the entire frame and headed into the fourth down 1. In the fourth, however, the Patriots battled back and were looking to force a pivotal final set with 2 set points awaiting for the Patriots. However, the Buffaloes would come back and take it 26-24, ending the match. As always, Martin led the team in kills with 13 as Green tallied 23 assists. Defensively, the blocks were spread evenly, but leading the pack was Awaknaran, who had 6 block assists. With the 0-3 weekend, the team records falls to 5-9 just before the team kicks off Atlantic 10 play this weekend. Mason also falls down to 9th in the Atlantic 10 standings.
Certainly a disappointing week for the women's volleyball team. They've been playing very well up to this point. We thought they would be able to maybe at least grab one of those wins out in Colorado. I know a lot of those West Coast teams out there have strong volleyball skills, but we were hoping to at least snag one of those wins. So fairly disappointing to go 0-3 this past weekend.
West Coast volleyball teams, they're very formidable opponents. Even if they have losing records, they aren't going to be a push-up. They aren't going to be a team that you're going to be able to get an easy win against. So, of course, the team wanted a win going out there to Colorado. It stinks having that 3 time zone flight back
after going 0-3.
Yeah, after going 0-3. But they can turn it all around. They have a good, solid game coming up against George Washington on Friday. And that's going to be the chance for the Patriots to prove who they really are in the Atlantic 10.
Now we move on to the men's cross-country team, who did not compete this weekend, but they still made news in the A10. Redshirt senior Stuart Lambden-Crowell was named the A10 Conference Men's Cross-Country Performer of the Week thanks to his first-place finish at the James Madison Invitational. Congrats to Stuart, and best of luck to the remainder of the season. The team was also retained its regional ranking of 14th in the Southeast region in the latest national poll.
This week, the women's cross-country team was also off, and they will return to action next weekend. So, a very, very quiet weekend. But with that, we have some news for you that a lot of fans are going to like. We're going to start talking about the basketball team. Never too early to start talking about basketball in Fairfax.
Especially this season with the new head coach making some more news, as head coach Dave Paulson brought in 2 new players to the team. Jair Greyer and Daniel Ravallo have joined the Masons basketball team for the upcoming season. Greyer is a 6'4" guard who played at the IMG Academy and Flint Southwestern Classical Academy, where he was named the Associated Press's All-State First Team, and he averaged a double-double in points and rebounds, which is impressive for a guard. Ravallo is a 6'9" forward who attended Mountain Mission High School in Grundy, Virginia, and has also played on the Portuguese national team. Paulson talked highly of both Greyer's versatility and athleticism, and Ravallo's great rebounding instincts. Both of these players are just 2 of the 6 newcomers to join the Masons basketball team.
Yep, of those 2 recruits, they will join those other 4 freshmen that have already been named to the Mason roster. They are DeAndre Abram, Danny Dixon, Otis Livingston II, and Cameron Murr. Considering it is his first season as coach, many are optimistic as well. Dave Paulson has recruited the young talent into the program, and they will need all the help they can get with Trey Porter and Isaiah Jackson, who transferred away from Mason, as well as Corey Edwards and Vaughn Gray graduating. So there's a whole lot of holes in the Mason roster, but 6 freshmen, that's nearly half the team. They're going to have a chance to fill in some of those gaps for the Patriots offense and defense.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the freshmen they're going to have to prove their mark, as Isaiah Jackson did last year, come up in a big way. He played very well as a freshman, and now we have 6 new guys who will try to take advantage of their time that they'll definitely be playing. But it is nice that we have a lot of the core players. It was rough to see Corey Edwards, who had a terrific season last year for us. But we have Marquise Moore returning, and Jalen Jenkins, Siobhan Thompson, and now these new recruits who seem to have very good numbers. I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, I mean, again, we always talk about transition years, especially with the new head coach. A lot of people think this transition year, I think Mason has a chance to surprise some teams. Maybe, I'm not telling Mason fans to get their hopes up, no NCAA tournament bid as of yet. We'll still see once the season kicks off, but Mason's going to make a couple surprises. They're going to surprise some Atlantic 10 teams, and it's going to be a good swing for the Patriot platoon to get back and out filling up the new Eagle Bank Arena. But I'm also excited to see Daniel Ravallo. He's
certainly
another European player coming to Mason, just like Marco Guiani-Cheech, and he all has a different style. So it's going to be exciting to see him on the court. I want to see which one of these guys is going to get the most play, though, because all of them have a case to do so.
Certainly, and they will have their work cut out for them, which is good, going against some of their veterans that are on the team, our juniors and seniors, which means that they'll be playing against good competition, and therefore proving that they deserve to be in the starting lineup or first off the bench or something. So certainly I am excited about Ravallo too. Portuguese national team in high school, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Europeans do things a little bit differently when it comes to their basketball.
That's for sure. For sure. Well, that will wrap up this week's edition of Mason Sports Insider. Here's a look ahead at this week's upcoming schedule.
Yep, you look at what we got. Not much for you. Only 3 games. As first we have the men's soccer team taking on Longwood on Tuesday. By the time you actually see this, that game will probably have already happened. Then on Friday, women's volleyball, they kick off the Atlantic 10 season with an away game at George Washington. That's going to be interesting. That's revolutionary rival right there. So that's going to be the first tick of the season to the Tri-Corner Hat Trophy, I believe is what it's called, for the revolutionary rivalry.
Yeah, that's the match that I'll be looking forward to the most as they start off A10 play, and certainly want to, get that jump ahead in the colonial rivalry. So quiet week for us as well, and it's broadcasting goes all away games. So nice weekend off.
Yeah, not used to that. And then wrapping it up, you see the men's soccer team. They're taking on UMBC. UMBC up until this week was ranked nationally in the polls, but they just lost to another A10 school in LaSalle. So I'm expecting them to drop out of the top 25, which will be released in the editing process of this video. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Mason Sports Insider. As always, we'd like to thank you for watching. We're enjoying being able to broadcast this for you, and we hope you enjoy watching as well. And we hope we are informing you. If we miss anything, make sure you reach out to us, and we'll make sure to cover it in our next episode. But that's all we have for today. Until next time, I'm Tyler Byram, sitting alongside Dan Ward, and we will see you next time, Mason.